Now, the reason I'm making this power scaling video is actually mostly because I couldn't figure out a battle for Dream of the Endless. I read Sandman a while ago, and one of my members, shout out to Morpheus, aka Drip, he's a big Morpheus, aka Dream fan, and I do want to do a battle. We're considering one right now, but I'm going to go ahead and put out this moderate length power scaling video on Morpheus, aka Dream. You guys tell me, based on what I show you or based on what you already know, what you think a good matchup for him is, what you think is competitive, and what you would like to see. I'm interested to see what you guys come up with in the comment section, and let me know why you think the matchup you're proposing is a good one. So with that being said, I'm going to break down Dream of the Endless and why he is ridiculously overpowered. If you like these kind of videos, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're almost at 7K, so I'm excited. And with that said, let's begin, and I hope you enjoy. Now, before we get into the capabilities of Morpheus, aka Dream of the Endless, we need to get a grasp on what he actually is and what he represents. Morpheus is a member of the Endless. This is a family that is beyond even the gods in the verse. Gods, of course, for DC, I'm referring to new gods, old gods. These are archetypal concepts, and I'll explain why that's important for scaling later. And in fact, when it comes to Morpheus and his power, he is described as using power from God or Allah himself, which should be the presence, and has domain over what is, what's not, what will be, and what was. He controls the dreaming, which is a lot stronger than most people are aware of. Now, the reason it's important to emphasize that the dreaming is a lot stronger is because dreams, imagination and stuff, the power of that varies in each verse. It's an abstract concept that, depending on the verse, might be different strength. So I have to review what that really equates to in DC, which I'll cover soon. Now, first to be analyzed for Morpheus will be his raw power feats from his main story run. These feats and statements help give us a decent idea of what kind of power we are dealing with. In terms of his own universe, which is DC Comics, there are very few characters that Morpheus is worried about pulling up on for the hands. In fact, pretty early on, Morpheus pulled up on Hell and even forced the gates open with his power. I covered this story before, so please go check that out. I did the first couple major arcs of the Sandman story. Anyways, this Morpheus doesn't have all his powers, so the feats you'll see are actually suppressed because in the beginning of the story he had to go recover parts of his power that he had left in different places, including stuff like from Dr. Destiny and things like that. Yeah, he's very strong, and like I said, even weakened, he pulled up on Hell like it was no problem. There's a reason Morpheus was so confident pulling up to Hell. We have seen Morpheus have encounters with some of the kings of Hell. These high-level demons make Etrigan look average, and Etrigan, for the record, can rip the face off Spectre. Morpheus clowned the demon lord he faced and basically one-shot because he used the dreaming and trapped the demon casually in it. He wasn't even planning on messing up this demon, except the demon wished harm upon him, tried to hurt him, and because of that he had to hit him with the reverse Uno and tell him, yo, you're in the dreaming right now, big dog, you can't hurt me. When Morpheus was hosting pantheons of gods in his dreaming, they initially were held up at the gates to his realm. Morpheus casually could empower the gatekeepers in his realm to maintain these pantheons with ease and not allow them in. This means a casual power amp given from Morpheus can put you over new god and old god type beings, entire pantheons of archetypal entities. Archetypal means they're outside of creation. They're what creation's based on. They're outside of dimensionality. Space, time, and everything within dimensions, they're outside of that because they are what is taken to reflect and make creation itself. We see a lot of these principles in fiction, especially DC and Marvel. Also in Lord of the Rings, read the Silmarillion. Really good random plug. Morpheus quite literally can speak or think away beings that are well into outer versal. On my scale that I've talked about a couple times before, I call it God level, which is essentially we are so high into the scale, it's a bit ridiculous at this point if you really think about it and if you're trying to get really technical with the terminology. Anyways, Corinthian, whom Morpheus had one shot and spoke away basically with ease, choked out the old god Loki, which is absolutely absurd. And a wild implication, which is backed up by what happens in the story. I call it wild because if you don't know John Constantine scaling, go watch my Constantine vs. Strange video. He's insane. But Constantine had a psychological issue with nightmares that he could not neck. For reference, Constantine has creation level magic. Magic that can affect beings that can consume formless realms of thoughts. Morpheus casually cures John of his problem. John also fell into the dreamscape and was getting boloed, and Morpheus had to scale him. And what all this means is that it implies the real power of the dreaming, which is Morpheus, is beyond Constantine. The power Morpheus uses and is blessed with is essentially ideas. For example, the frequent description is all that you are, were, will be, could be, and everything else. Basically, all aspects of you, even in the very concept or idea of you, is on a fundamental level. And that fundamental level and all of those aspects are all contained within the dreaming. Basically, if you ever existed, you are likely just another speck to the power of Morpheus and his family, at least relative to what existence means to the endless, aka not really anything. They retire when the actual verse is done and completed. Death will shut the door on it, death of the endless. It's basically death of the verse. So yeah, they're around for the long run and their power's ridiculous. His power, being of ideas, makes sense to me with examples like his ability to seal a woman in hell. This is the real hell for the big boys. He did this because she wouldn't get with him. So we do need to cancel Morpheus in 2021. That definitely is messed up and he should not have done that. But anyways, I say this shows his wild idea / possibilities power because hell itself is an idea which he seemed to somewhat have domain over. To me, the wildest argument to make for his AP is that he scales above you if you are a story. He is the prince of stories. Like I said, it's an argument. I'm just trying to present different cases for him. Now, he left his narrative and universe where the god there that he was now had control and domain. So basically, he's in a new narrative, a new verse where the person there is controlling it. But since the character that person was affecting was someone he liked and he liked their story, Morpheus was able to take back the power and domain over that character and to keep them as his because he's the prince of stories. It's nuts. Given that the power of Morpheus is tied to his domain, the dreaming, which has to lie beyond creation since it predates and will shut the door on it, if you exist in it, you are weaker. This is high outer, but stops at Michael, Archangel, and Lucifer tiers according to Morpheus himself. So basically, like, if you're Lucifer's brother Michael, Morpheus doesn't consider you someone he could beat. He's verbatim said it himself. Now that we have explained how absurd his raw attack potency should be, let's review some of the weird hacks and feats Morpheus has pulled off. First feat is him displaying his reality warping. Specifically, he can place and displace things from the dreaming to the real world and vice versa. Basically, he can make the abstract real, and it is an easy manipulation for him. If you piss him off, Morpheus can apply infinite nightmare sauce to your day. This is literally you dying over and over in a nightmare, but you never actually get to die. Horrible condition for the weebs that follow my channel. Shout out to you. Think of it like Gold Experience Requiem from JoJo's, but on a high outer level. Morpheus has some kind of weird ceiling hacks too. Essentially, he took a city that was of magic, I believe it was Baghdad, and sealed it away. Except he sealed the idea of the magic version of the city away for eternity. This normal city, the normal version of it, was allowed to exist. This ceiling hack could easily be weaponized in my opinion. Morpheus also has a tracking hack on his own real name. If you say it, he will instantly appear. This allows him to pop up anywhere and protect those he needs to protect in the real world. It also allows him to vibe check anyone that talks shit about him. So basically, if his name comes out your mouth and it's not good, might be a problem because you can show up and handle that. Again, The base status of the Endless allows them to inherently be well into Outerversal, which should apply to all hacks. The inherent placement of their pantheon in the verse for sure is beyond the boundaries of even the gods. This is made evident with the explanation of the Endless being beyond the Roman gods' pantheons and the god of boundaries itself. Morpheus has also shown he will put a Freddy Krueger Uber hybrid performance on if he needs to. The dreaming is all dreams and all thoughts, so Morpheus can use your dreams to travel if he wants to. It gets really abstract and trippy, but basically he can thought hop instantly. Morpheus has shown he can also bypass your hacks resistances, and durability, even if it's on a conceptual level. His son was beyond the concept of death. Not endless death, but regular concept of death, like that would apply to new gods, old gods, superheroes, stuff like that. Morpheus bypassed this and killed his son anyways. Morpheus' existence itself, reality warps passively. The example given is that if Morpheus was to look up at lightning, for eternity after, people that stand in that same spot will be forced to do the same and won't know why. His presence in reality has that big of a passive impact. Everything he does leaves a permanent imprint on existence. And then, finally, you of course have to worry about sleep manipulation, as he can force you to go to sleep. This ability even extends over all the wackos in Arkham. The mind of the Joker is something even wild to someone like Spectre, and it's casual to slump these people for Morpheus and to enter their minds. Morpheus and his dream BS makes him a hard story to beat, which makes sense since he's the Prince of Stories. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Like I said in the beginning, if you have any ideas for a good battle, let me know the battle and let me know why it's good. Thank you guys for watching. We're close to 7K, so make sure to subscribe. It's been your boy, your favorite villain, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.